Hey y'all, Love Islanders, honey. I am back. First, to just have like a quick little chat. Okay, we're going to chat about a few things. You guys know that Taylor and Clarke have been kicked out of the villa. They have been going on to do a few interviews and things. And also, we have to tap into Ace and Chelley because they also went on to do an interview as well. And y'all know we got to like touch on a few things that was said in both of the interviews. So we'll get into that. But the first thing I need us to get into first is the fact that Cierra referred to Huda's fans as the HudaRats. And I'm hollering so bad because for me, I'm the first person to have heard anyone say that. Because I just came up with it off of a whim. I was thinking of hood rats and I said HudaRats. That's what I'm gonna start calling y'all. And then I just start seeing everybody saying it, okay? So I haven't seen anybody else say it before me. So the fact that I've been seeing it go all over the place has been a key for me. Um, that she referred to them. So she made a post. She put a post up, right? And what she said originally, let me show you guys the post that she put up on her page, okay? This is the cute post that Cierra put up on her page. Now, you guys know Cierra has taken some time after being released from the villa. You know, she's been trying to process everything and she is slowly making her comeback back to social media, just like some of her followers are making their comeback over there to her page. You know, she lost a lot of followers behind a slur that resurfaced, photos of, you know, her mentioning a slur that resurfaced, and she lost a lot of followers. She came out, gave a statement, did a video about that, addressing everything, which was actually addressed before she even went on to the show. Yeah, she's been slowly making her way back. All right. So I'm going to show you guys what she said and then we'll get into what she said before. Okay. So this is the edited version, right? It has people, moments, and memories I'll cherish forever. This journey didn't end the way I hoped, but there were real connection, love, and growth in these moments. There's still so much more growing to do, and for that, I'll always be grateful. So she goes in and she edits. She says, before the Huda HQ comes for me for not tagging my girl, her IG isn't allowing tags. Please know, Huda is my sister, and the love I have for her is infinite. And for the Nicolandrian nation, they are two people I care deeply for and absolutely adore. I've always wanted nothing but happiness for each of them in this experience, and that has never and will never change. She goes on to say, slowly easing my way back online, and genuinely thought this was the name of her fandom slash supporters. Too much info to absorb at once. My girl will get a giggle out of this when she sees it. Okay. So that is what Miss Cierra said. But what she originally said was a bit funny. She says, before the hashtag HudaRats come for me for not tagging my girl. All right. That is what she said originally, before the hashtag HudaRats. And she had to realize that she had to go back and change that. Okay. I understand her not wanting to have an issue because she doesn't want to have an issue with Huda. But girl, it's giving HudaRats for me. And I said what I said. I've been said it a long time ago. And I'm going to keep saying it. You keep getting these comments showing your R's. So you're going to continue to be a HudaRat. Okay. Now, if you come over here with a piece of demureness, then you could be referred to as the Huda HQ. But being that this show is about to go off officially after today, and we may have another week of press or whatever the case is, y'all really ain't gonna be nothing for me high key to be focused on, because it's gonna be all about season 6. All right. It's going to be all about beyond the villa, those that are actually relevant, more so than anything in my personal. Okay, so feel away, have a great day, and I know I'm gonna have one too. All right, now aside from that, we do have to get into what was said by Taylor and Miss Clarke when they went to do their interview. And one of the main things was the fact that Miss Huda sat up there and, you know, she was doing too much in the challenge. And with her doing too much in the challenge, people were wondering, like, oh my God, what did she do? What did she do? What did she do? And they kind of clarified that just a bit. And give me a second because I want to make sure that I pull that up for us to chat about. All right, let's check out this soundbite here from Chicks in the Office, the interview they did with Taylor and Clarke, where they talked about the situation with Huda and Ace during the heart rate challenge. So let's listen to this.
Think that Chelley's, obviously she was upset with Huda after that heart rate challenge with what went down with Ace. And I think we saw part of it, but a lot of what was talked about online was like, oh, did we miss something that maybe happened? Like that they're getting so upset about? What did you guys feel like she went too far? Huda went too far
The
there?
way Clarke is laughing.
You're damn right she did. Like,
Did
listen, bro, when I tell y'all Huda
did her biggest one.
Yeah,
She did.
she did her big one on Ace. Like,
can I ask, people online were like, she must have like sat on his face.
That's
Did
the
that
only thing
happen?
that made sense to me.
damn near.
Yeah.
It damn happened.
Sorry, guys. This was just the conversation that was happening online.
No.
I'm just like it. She pretty much did.
Mhm.
You know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah.
You can tell by the reactions. It
but
was,
you guys heard,
like you said, it was the big one.
It caused a little bit of confusion because Chelley seemed so upset, and everyone viewers watching was like, well, was Huda just doing the same as all the other girls? Like it seemed like everybody was trying to go all out.
No.
But obviously from your reactions, we can kind of put two and two together on.
Okay, they're saying no.
I'm just like it. She pretty much did. You know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah.
You can tell by the reactions. It
But
was,
you guys heard,
like you said, it was the big one.
It caused a little bit of confusion because Chelley seemed so upset, and everyone viewers watching was like, well, was Huda just doing the same as all the other girls? Like it seemed like everybody was trying to go all out. But obviously from your reactions, we can kind of put two and two together on that one. You guys have had some crazy challenges that they've thrown you in.
She was trying to ride that man's face, baby. And I'm wondering, was Ace's tongue out? Just a little piece. I'm not even finna hold y'all, okay? She was riding that man's face. I know we was over here tapping on Chelley, like, Chelley, girl, you was over there putting your leg all up in that other man's face, okay? You had your leg up and popping it and stuff. But Chelley was really upset because she's like, girl, the music done cut off, okay? I can see you doing all that. The music done cut off, but BIT, you still going? Like, yeah, I don't know what that was about, but Chelley was pissed the hell off, okay? And they're pretty much confirming it, all right? Now, Ace and Chelley did go on to do their own interviews, and they talked about, them being exclusive and him saying that her and him being exclusive was a really big deal for him. Because, Ace ain't really had no girlfriend like that or even bring somebody around his mom. And he wanted that to be with somebody that he didn't see himself leaving the villa without, in a sense, right? So he wanted to be with her, and that's what it was. He chose her, wanted to be exclusive, and that's that. And I'm wondering now, I have to go back to the best friend that spent her time on social media trying to drag Chelley. It's like now he chose her. Now he's exclusive with her. My question for Ace is, how do you move forward in this friendship after she's literally sitting up here disrespecting your girl? What does that friendship look like moving forward? Are you going to have a conversation with her? You going to check her, let her know how she's supposed to operate when it comes to you and yours? Because also the friendship, the girl isn't used to likely seeing Ace with nobody. So maybe she felt comfortable enough with dragging Chelley because she may have felt like, oh, we ain't like you going to be with her for real on the outside anyway. Only for him to be with her on the outside anyway. So yikes, honey. I wonder what that conversation is going to be like, right? Ace also says it took him... he said it took him some time to get to that place to see that they could really make it through the ups and downs. He was really like explaining why he did not choose Chelley in the beginning when he had the opportunity, when he ended up choosing Amaya over her. And I just really didn't like his explanation. He wanted to see if they could make it through the ups and downs. Sir, that don't make sense. That basically for me confirms that you were playing a game, because all you had to do was choose her. Y'all being in the villa, the entire experience is going to test whether y'all can deal with the ups and downs, which is the whole reason as to why they bring the bombshells in, right? Say what? They both did clarify that they were not dating before the show, but they did meet each other before the show. But they weren't the only ones that knew each other before the show. She also knew Amaya. She also knew Andrina. Did I say it right? Andrina. She also she knew those ladies even prior to Ace. Ace says that Nick and Jeremiah knew each other before the show and they used to work together. Maybe that's why Nick felt so comfortable referring to Jeremiah as his best friend, even though it didn't give best friend actions, because you aligned yourself with people that you didn't even know more closer than you did with him. And then he also lets us know that Ace knew Pepe before being in the villa as well. So a lot of people knew each other, not just them, and people started to put these narratives together. And I feel like a lot of narratives were put out there, a lot of digging was put out there because people needed to alter the mindsets of others in an effort to propel the person that they want to win in the show. Let me create these narratives that, oh, Ace and Chelley are scamming us, they've been around each other before. First off, they got yulissa out of here, right? Kept Austin though. Obviously, Austin wasn't that much of a threat, I suppose, whatever. But when it came to Ace and Chelley, oh, they're scamming us. They've been dating before. Da, 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 they're gooping us or whatever. So you're setting up this whole thing with the public for them to think that, oh, well, I don't believe them. They just trying to get the money and make it to the end. However, Ace, some of your actions contributed to you not making it to the end. But at the same time, I don't think that held a lot of weight as to why you did not make it to the end. And I'm gonna say this. One, we didn't like how you handled the Jeremiah situation. So a lot of us weren't really featuring you or really voting for you. However, Ace, to me, maybe once, but he was never put in a position to really be in the bottom like Huda. So I don't think that America strongly disliked him that much, because if they did and they really didn't like how the Jeremiah situation panned out, Ace would have been gone or at least been on the chopping block. And I just don't recall times that Ace was on the chopping block. If he was, maybe it was just one time, but I don't recall that. That's why also, being that he was able to make it through so far, a lot of us were shocked that he and Chelley got eliminated when they did. Whereas when you look at the Huda situation, Huda been in the bottom for quite a bit. Right? She was in the bottom for quite a bit, but the Islanders were the ones that were saving her. It wasn't really America that was saving her. It was the Islanders. But what's also interesting is that at the very end, it appeared that America was voting for Huda to stay in, that's just real interesting to me. But it is what it is. Maybe the turn of events happened when Chelley was very much so right in her feelings and not wanting to fuck with Huda in that moment. Like, I'm not trying to talk to you. Okay. And she handled it very much so demure. Like, it's not going to be the best time for you and I. So maybe that's when the tide turns, because people wanted her to forgive Huda as fast as they were willing to forgive her. And it just don't work like that. Right. So that may have contributed to a bit of why, Ace and Chelley didn't make it to the end. A little bit of the Jeremiah, how he kind of carried himself in the villa. But also, like I said, being that they were continuing to make it through and not being that low in the totem pole to be released by America, it kind of didn't make sense. At the same time, I also feel like it was a part of the producer's influence as well. Okay. What else did they talk about? They also talked about their decisions on the votes, which absolutely still made no sense. They said they based their decisions in the villa based on what all was happening in that moment, right? It was, whatever the explanation was, it wholeheartedly for me didn't really make a lot of sense, and they just played the game very wrong. And they're seeing that now. What was interesting was hearing how Ace said in his interview how much love he has for Jeremiah. He really loves Jeremiah before, after, still has a lot of love for him, and said that it was such a difficult decision for them to get rid of Jeremiah. Bye. It wasn't that difficult. Y'all literally had Austin standing up there, who literally didn't really have much of a connection. If anything, Austin probably was still partnered up with the woman you said you wanted to be with, which was Chelley. So why would you not get rid of him? It made no sense. It was definitely giving a piece of hateration for me, no matter how much he may say that was not the case. Now, when it comes down to who they felt they would like to see win the show ultimately, they do say that they hope that it's Olandria or Amaya, which is interesting because Ace seems like he's more so wanting Amaya and Brian to win. And I feel like he says that because he sees the connection between them being stronger than the connection with Olandria. Right now, what was interesting was in Taylor's interview that he did, I think it could have been with Access Hollywood, whichever interview he did, he talked about how Nick and Olandria wanting to explore each other. It was something like that he said, or they were interested or something, which is interesting considering the fact that Olandria sat with her mom and says that she never even knew that Nick was interested in her. So which one is it? Right? I think that Taylor was aware that Nick had a bit of interest in Olandria. However, Taylor wasn't willing to come up off of Olandria until he was saved, which is when Clarke came in. So once he got his strong connection that he had been seeking the entire time with Clarke, it was like, okay, anybody want dibs, you can have it, because I'm not trying to be with her. So that's when I think he likely was more open to it, because he already had his person. So it is what it is. But yeah, going back to Ace, he says him and Amaya squashed things like a long time ago. So even though it may look like to other people that they didn't, he was like, they've been had a talk. Like him and Amaya, he, according to him, are really close. And he also is looking forward to her coming out of the villa so they all can, do a double date together. So I'm like, okay, I see you. And he says he really, rocks with Nick and rocks with Olandria. And it's tough because he would want both of them to win. But to me, it seems like Ace may be more Amaya and Brian, whereas Chelley is likely more Olandria and Nick. So we shall see how everything is going to play out once we get to the finale. All right, once we find out who the true winners really are. Love Island did come to us on Instagram and they made a particular post. And y'all should already know the post that was made comes after, in my opinion, after they have announced who the true winners are. And this is the post that was made by them. They go on to say, a huge thanks to everyone who has joined us for Love Island USA Season 7. We can't wait to celebrate our incredible Islanders in tomorrow night's finale. Love Island exists because of the real people who share their search for love with the world. Our hosts and all Islanders deserve respect and kindness for opening their hearts to the experience and to viewers everywhere. As this season comes to a close, let's show them our love and support. I said, okay, so is this y'all way of saying Huda won the show? Because why else is you coming to us with this? Either that or are you saying Pepe and Iris won the show? Because why is you coming to us with this? Right? Interesting. Because if, to me, y'all ain't been saying nothing for a few weeks when you could have come out and spoke again. I feel like with these Islanders, it shouldn't have been just one time that y'all talked about bullying. Your cast, mates, members, whatever, they had been getting bullied weeks after weeks after weeks, not just quote unquote Huda. Okay, others to follow. So y'all should have been putting a statement out damn near every week. Okay, not accepting the bullying. So now you guys are wanting people to be kind to them, respect them, and all this and that. Knowing that Amaya has been America's sweetheart, my question is, who really won the show? And it's giving to me, and I hope that I'm so wrong, that it's not Nick Olandria or Amaya and Brian. So I don't know. I could be wrong. I will hope so. Now I did see an article from Cosmopolitan where they were pretty much talking about the changes that Love Island wants to make moving forward. Let me tap into that article really quickly. All right, let's slide over here and get into that. And they really gonna have to make some type of changes. And I think one of the biggest changes is deciding on how much influence you will allow the audience to have. Okay. And honestly, as much as I love the interactive portion where we're able to go into the app and vote, but if our vote is not going to be the final say so, then aside from the winners, then why are we voting throughout the show? Just let us watch the show and make that final vote at the very end. Because y'all gonna still allow the Islanders to save whoever it is that they want to save. So what's the point? Okay. Anywho, let us slide over here to check out this article. So it says Love Island USA to change casting process amid multiple cast members exiting due to racism. All right. They go on to say, according to a show insider who spoke with The Sun, starting next season, we are going to get some people working on looking way more into the social media presence and the articles, pictures, and public things that potential contestants did before trying to get on the show. Yes, please do. But in addition, let's bring on less influencers. I'm not saying there should not be any. I feel like at a point I was at that place, but now, no, I'm not saying there should not be any. Okay, maybe bring the people that got like 20,000 followers, folks that's trying to really grow their platforms, not people that already have hundreds of thousands of followers, right? I feel like they fine. I mean, yeah, they could use more, but they fine. Give it to some of the people that got 3,000, 5,000. Like, find the undiscoverable talent out there. Okay. Um, that's what it is that I'm thinking. So then they also go on. Now, see, those people you might also have to dig into more. Who knows? Because if they're so unknown, right, they might have some challenging things in their background because being a reality star, being put in the forefront was never a part of their plan, right? But then, hey, I feel like this also, that's a great way for you guys to test the actual process that you guys say you're going to test, diving into pictures, the public presence, the background, all of that. Yeah. Use that on, people that are brand new, okay, to the public's eye. Now they go on to say we are going to hire more people to dig into people's past and things they did in public and really brush out their social media and old posts to see if anything controversial came out of there. All right. They go on to add we will be really digging way more and deeply in each participant's past and make sure that their records are clean of racist, xenophobic, and sexist words or behavior. If there is anything racist, sexist, or offensive in there, the person won't be allowed to be considered as a potential participant on the show. We can't have any more situations where we deal with racist behavior. But can I also say this? If it's a person they really like, if the person truly wholeheartedly has the face card and they may have in the body card, and they may have said some things that were reckless, I guarantee you they're probably going to put an extra step in to scrub that information. Not so much as not have them on the show. If y'all think this is going to be the first or last time we see something like this, where at least one contestant is going to be problematic for some things they said on social media, I feel like we're going to get at least one. It's going to be at least one. I think they're going to try to scrub it versus not consider them at all. But that's just my personal on that. All right. They also say the source also spoke about the damage of the show's brand, saying in part, we absolutely cannot have another season like the one we are about to wrap up. That's motherfucking right. And you know why? Because one, y'all are giving too much energy, effort into what the public is saying. And y'all also don't do your deeper dive and your research and know how to handle things also in the moment, that your automatic reaction is to go ahead and go home. Right. So, yeah, I feel like we should have power, but not that much power. Like, let's get back to I don't want another season like this. In addition, the producers fucked up, right? Y'all messed up with having Jeremiah go home, which is why we didn't get a movie night, because a lot of the stuff from movie night happens earlier in the show, but they were deleting and getting rid of people that it doesn't make sense. Movie night makes sense, right? Everybody's like, oh, I want a movie night. I want a movie night. I want to see movie night. I want to see movie night. Why would you want to see a movie night if there's no real connections for real? If the people's connections have been sent home. It wasn't a whole lot to give us. What? Olandria hearing that Taylor said that, oh, I'm not actually attracted to you. Would that have been something? Maybe Cierra seeing how open Nick has been with other people that show interest in him, but it didn't matter because she got sent home. So even if they were going to do that in the final week, it wouldn't matter. She got sent home. So it wasn't enough strong connections in there to really show us some stuff for real. Like, the producers lost the ball. And I really wonder if there's been a difference in producers from last season in comparison to this season. Because y'all messed up. y'all messed up. Y'all messed up. And I'll never forget when they got ready to eliminate Jeremiah and all of the guys kind of looked in one direction, which you could tell a producer was likely telling them something, or, hey guys, wrap the conversation up. We got to go do this or that. Whatever it was, you could tell that the producer said something for all of them to look. Well, then why didn't the producer let them know that they playing this damn game wrong? Okay, I understand you may want it to be a little natural, I suppose, or reality, real. But y'all, somebody should have stepped in, because y'all thought we was on Love Island Games for a second. Okay, so let's see what else they're saying. All right, they go on to say, and it breaks some of the dynamics of the show and gives us a very bad image, because we should have done better at making sure that everything was clear and nothing bad was done in their past, from public appearances to social media posts, etc. It won't ever happen again starting next season. That is for sure. We are going to do everything to make sure participants are great people and didn't say bad things in their past. And you know what? They might actually make the attempt to really do a better job next season, considering the fact that they're already trying to cast people. So if they go ahead and get a jump start now on trying to, cast people, it gives them, in my opinion, enough time to look into their backgrounds and to watch their profiles and monitor their social media presence over the next year or the next few months before they finalize the next cast. So yeah, I think they're doing right by, hey, anybody interested, let's go ahead and start getting these auditions on the road so we can look into your background. And if you're not going to be the person, we have time to find somebody else. In addition to the people where we don't find anything on them, could they potentially say some things more recently as we're continuing to watch them before we actually choose them for the upcoming season. But that's all that I have to say. I'm sure you guys have a lot to say, so you can leave your thoughts and comments down below in the comment section. All right. Of course, I'm Jamie. That's me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share my videos. Okay. You can follow me on Instagram at Jamie. That's me. And of course, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Tell him I preach to the choir. Stand with my feet to the fire. Give all the glory to God. Stand in the midst of these haters, I'm silent, nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my notification, them numbers hit like it's a proxy. Cashed out at the ATM, and the ATL, they done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATF, got them trying to clone me like Agent Smith. Game time, I invaded gym, high elevated, I can face the rim. Putting shots up, I got laser focus, about to take it over, I'm Invader Zim. On a trip to Florida like it's A&M. Who that nigga, man, they say I'm him. Spit the truth, never wasting film, I can fill a pool, we gon' make them swim.